I'm gonna do a quick intro, Shaz, and get that way I can share to the network and let people have some time to come in. So give me about a minute and a half. All right, let's get this thing started. Let me just clear the computer. Hello. All right. Okay, we're gonna pull Shaz up here. She's been waiting patiently. We do have a comedian in the Zoom room by the name of Dr. Joe Lightheart, also known as Dr. Joe Delaney. All right, let's see, Shaz, where you at? Here we go. Hey, Michelle Bruce and Kiwi. Thank you, Kiwi, for the birthday greeting in my email, which I haven't answered yet, as usual. Takes me a few days. All right. There you go. Hey, Shaz.
Hi.
What's happening?
Oh, what isn't?
Well, it's a long time coming.
Yeah. Yeah, finally.
The first thing I want to do is just thank you for always being there and showing up.
Oh, thank you.
I was happy that you were coming on. I'm sorry we had to cancel that other show.
Well,
we don't have to do that very often, but every now and then we got to bail.
Well, I'm a firm believer. Everything happens for a reason, Todd.
Ah, you're from Liverpool.
I'm from Liverpool, as you can tell.
I can tell. I'm a Liverpool fanatic. Do you know Eugene Lane? Eugene Samuel Lane? Yeah, he's I admire him a lot. He's been there. He's a hell of an artist, and he's been in Liverpool in the music and art scene for years. He's an amazing, amazing talent. Eugene Samuel Lane.
Eugene Samuel Lane. Okay.
Very, very cool guy. So what's going on in Liverpool, England, on the front line of the apocalypse?
Oh, what isn't going on, Todd? I think, right now I'm just trying to quiet that bleeding monkey mind down, shut the ego mind up and the nerves and the fear. But it's about me. I'm forever being told to stop playing small. It's about time you stepped up and stepped in, yeah. And that's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing here tonight, you know.
You're
just
stepping up. And I know you were on the Freedom Network. I saw that the other day. So you are stepping up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
have we started yet?
What's that?
Are we live now? Have we started?
Yeah, we're live. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're live.
Okay, cool.
We're definitely live. So, you know, I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
Of course, I guess I do, but I really don't know much about you. I didn't get to watch that show with Shanine that you guys did.
Yeah.
But I like the comments that you make. It tells me you're very real, and you know, some of the stuff you put up in the shows. I mean, how did this all go down for you? Were you aware of everything, or did you have a wake up experience?
A bit of both. I'll give you an overview of my life because I know it's not about the story, but I'll just give you a quick overview. I've got a very astute memory, Todd. Earliest memories going back to 2 years of age. And the memories I have is there was a lot of trauma, like a lot of us that have woke up, you know, we come in with a lot of stuff to clear, a lot of trauma. And as this 2-year-old little girl, the memory I had, my earliest memory, was I was abducted by a couple of teenage boys, yeah? And without going into the story or the trauma, I remember going across this field with them. And I knew then, see, I've had to trace it right back from when I very first started going against me, yeah, and against myself, because I knew going across this field with these boys that I was in danger. And I remember talking incessantly. Can't remember what I was saying. But anyway, I was later found by a school caretaker in the woods. And all I remember is being carried, and this guy's got me in his arms and he's shouting. And he's going past shops. And all I remember from that was it wasn't so much the trauma of what took place, it was the shame. As young as I was carrying, I had this shame that everyone could see that I had no underwear on. I was exposed. So here I am being carried. So later on in my life, you know, when I've been doing the work on myself, I thought I brought that shame in with me. I know I brought that in. I absolutely brought that in because it goes back even further than that to being 18 months old with another memory I had. But I had a very chaotic childhood, come from a drinking family. By the time I'm 4 or 5 years of age, my mum and dad had split up and we're living in my nan's, my grandmother's house, which was very fear-driven, very neurotic, my grandmother. My grandfather, Irish family, very quiet man. So my mum wasn't there. There was a lot of abuse that took place, not just to me, but I'd witnessed to me, my brother. And we moved from there to a homeless hostel, my mother, with those 3 kids, with a year in between the 3 of us. But we goes into this hostel in this homeless place, and there was a little girl in there with polio, and I used to seek her out. I was a very sensitive little girl, very, very sensitive. And I used to seek this little girl out because I loved being with her. She took me out of me. I was able to be with her, play with her, take care of her. So I learned that responsibility role very, very early on in my childhood. And shortly, within a space of weeks, I started limping in pain. And my behaviours had started to change. Now, already, a lot had gone on in my life up to this point. Mum and dad splitting up, traumatic event at 2 years of age of being abducted. And then I had another traumatic experience. I had an abscess on my neck going into hospital, which was very traumatic. And then the abuse that took place in my grandmother. So here I am. There's a lot gone on already. So my behaviours had started to change. Started to be getting really, really rageful outbursts, really rageful. I was very, very anxiety child and talked a lot, was always into everything. But I know today I was very, very open, very sensitive. So here I am, and I'm in pain. And I believe this is where my false pride was born, where I stopped saying I was in pain or asking for help. My mum had had me backwards and forwards to the doctor who was saying, take her to the hospital. They were x-raying from the top of the leg down. They were saying, there's nothing wrong with her. And I can remember my mum screaming at me in the street, just hurry up. There's nothing fucking wrong with you. So I learned to stop saying I was in pain. But my behaviours had started to change, and I'd have these rageful outbursts where I'd be violent within them. there was never any stability. To fast forward a little bit, later on was to find that I'd been in front of a child psychologist. He was saying it was all behavioural. It was because of the split with mum and dad. It was attention seeking. Today, and I'd found ways to take me out of me through hating myself. I started hating myself, self-harming. So we moved again, where I started school. And within the school, they said, this child's in pain. You know, my mum said, I've had it backwards and forwards. It's this, it's that. So they said, no, she's in pain. So they took me to another hospital where they x-rayed from the hips down. And then they found I had a hip disease. So from there on in, I was home tutored. I didn't have to go to school. I was home tutored. Single mum. My mum had her own addictions. And by this time, she'd had a fourth child, who I loved. I absolutely loved my brother because I could look after him. But here I am, and I'm home tutored. But the less I was around people, the better I felt. The safer I felt. Today, I know I just picked energies up. I didn't know that, you know, until doing the work. By the time I'm 7, I'd found a drink. Alcohol. My mum got me up out of bed one night. I'd learned to manipulate. I'd learned to behave in ways I could make people laugh. You know, if I could make you laugh, I was in with a chance. That meant you liked me. So my mum would get me out of bed when they'd go back from the pub to entertain, make everyone laugh. And I took a drink simply because I was defiant and I shouldn't be doing it. But I remember the effect it had on me like it was yesterday. And it was the effect that alcohol had on me that was unlike anything I'd ever felt. It just felt like a warm security blanket wrapping around me. Shortly after that, we moved again. By this time, I'm in calipers. I've been in a wheelchair and then I'm in calipers. And we moved to an area where my dad's youngest brother used to knock around with lads and girls a lot older than me. And I used to tag onto them because they'd be smoking weed or whatever. So by the time I'm 8, I'm obsessing then. I'm already obsessing around a drink and a spliff. And I'd obsess with them weekends or them nights I could go and sit in that entry with these older people. That progressed. So by the time I'm 10, I'm drinking into blackout. I'm drinking into blackout and my behaviours were really unmanageable. There was never a consequence for my behaviour. My mum never had the time. She never had the resources. So here I am at 10. I'm already in trouble with the law. And my behaviours. So by the time I'm 12, it's progressed onto Class A substances. I'm talking heroin. Already in front of court. And but all the time, looking back, doing the work on myself, I was never comfortable being me. I was never, ever comfortable being me. I always wanted to be you, and I always wanted to be somewhere else because I was never, ever comfortable. I felt like I had this piece of me missing. And over the years, I found it was bottomless, this hole I had. And no matter what I tried to fill it with, it never lasted. So here I am now, being removed from my mother's care and put into the system. And within the system, even, you know, in secure units, I've done my first detox at 13 and a half, you know, heroin withdrawal. And I'm getting group therapy and under a psychiatrist. And even then I was medicated and I was a self-harmer. So I was labelled. From there, I was in and out of care. I was always running away. I was always, yeah, in a lot of trouble, should we say. I was what you would have called a product of circumstances. That progressed even more. I come out of care and then I ended up in prison at 17. And without going into all my madness, for the best part of 33 years, all I ever sought was security and to feel okay within me and normality. But I could never find it. So I'm an addict alcoholic, yeah. And I do believe it's an illness. That's my, you know, my understanding that it's an illness and how it affected me and why I couldn't stop and stay stopped. I've got an understanding to that. So for the best part of 33 years, I lived a life in addiction, yeah. 2 long-term domestic violent relationships, and in the end was removed from my own home for safety, where I ended up homeless, sleeping in parks and prone to seizures. In all them years, I just didn't know who I was, Todd. I really didn't know who I was. I thought I knew who I was. But my first out of body, I had meningitis at 10. As a child, I always seemed to get, I was always in and out of hospital with illnesses and sicknesses. And I had meningitis as a 10-year-old. My first out of body was when they said to me, Mum, we don't think this child's going to last the week out. So the priest was in and And I remember saying to my mum, I feel like I'm upside down. And she's saying, what are you talking about? And then I can't remember anything else. The next thing you know, I'm looking down at myself in the bed. Never really thought much of it, just put it down to being sick. Then the second out of body, as a child, I used to have dreams. I used to have these nightmares. And I know I'd go to a place that weren't here. It wasn't here. Now, a lady asked me on a retreat going back a couple of years, she just fired the question at me, where was it? And I just said, in between. I don't know whether I was tucked there or whether I went voluntarily. I don't know. But I was in this place that was just, it was in between whatever. And it was just a place of nothingness. It was just massive, massive, concrete, monumental. And I was this tiny, and I felt like I was being observed. And every time I had these nightmares, I'd wake up screaming. So I never ever really thought much about it. I never told anyone I believed it wasn't here because, you know, I was already labelled as being around the bend. So then towards the end of me drinking, I'm prone to seizures. I'm told I'm dying. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die. But every time I'd done a detox and tried to stop and stay stopped, I couldn't do it. And I love my kids. So when I learned no human power could stop me, I understood that because the power of this illness I suffer from, addiction, alcoholism, was a power bigger than my kids. I've got a strong will in every sense, in every other area of my life. I'm able to do, and if I set my mind to it, but in this respect, I couldn't. And I cried out to a God in the end in church. I was removed from my home. But I had an outer body towards going into it. Couldn't keep a drink down. I've got my son at home, and I'm trying to be sensible and just drink moderately while I'm waiting for yet another detox. The next thing, I'm sitting on the couch and a new seizure was coming on me. The next thing I saw, this gold orb floating towards me. And as it's floating up towards me, my face was on it. And the look on my face was of pure terror. And the next thing, I could see myself on the couch going into this seizure. Then it just went black. To cut a long story short, I went into hostels. It was utter demoralization. I'd lost my values. I'd lost anything I'd ever. It stripped me. When they call it a rapacious predator, it is. It really is. It stripped me of everything. I'd lost my kids. I'd lost my home. And here I am homeless again. But I've cried out to this God. To cut a long story short, I went in to do a detox for 6 weeks. And then I didn't know where I was going. I just kept being told, you're going to be okay. You were going to go into a 12-step treatment centre. I didn't have a clue about anything, Todd. And I mean, when I walked into this treatment centre 6 weeks after the detox, I felt like a child. This fighter, who'd been on the streets and learned to survive and thought she was tough. For the first time in my life, I felt like a frightened little girl because I'd never been just me without anything in me. And that's even in the institutions I was in, I was always medicated. So I'd come off heavy medication that I was on for 25 years. The substances and the drink were down, and I've been sectioned God knows how many times, and here I am at this treatment centre. So I was introduced to a 12-step programme. Now, it was mandatory within this treatment centre. Meditation, I'd never even heard the word meditation. It just wasn't something, from where I come from, it just wasn't, you know, anything known to me or from where I come from. So it's mandatory to meditate in this place. So straight away, I started getting visuals in these meditation. First thing, I kept getting this eye all the time, this eye, and I was thinking, I can't tell anyone that, they're going to think I'm nuts, you know. And I just started getting all these visuals downloaded to me. And the first one was the Vitruvian Man. Now, I'd never heard of the Vitruvian Man or Da Vinci. To me, it was just a program off the telly where they'd have the Wales in Action, it was called, and they'd have the Vitruvian Man in the introduction. So here I am thinking, why have I got the guy off Wales in Action coming into my mind? And I just kept getting downloaded stuff that I didn't understand. I really didn't have a clue about anything. Angels, just getting all kinds of visualizations, not really.
What year was this about?
2012.
2012, go figure.
Yeah, 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 2012. So then I got introduced to a 12-step program. Now, for me, it's the best personal development spiritual toolkit I've ever come across. Yeah. because it's all about going in. We go in, you know, we go in, we have to go inwards.
Fearless. It's a fearless moral inventory.
That's right. That's right. But it says, yeah, it says within this literature that we will come to a place of neutrality where we will intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle us. These are all the promises. Didn't know what any of that meant at the time, but they've all come true. This book was written in 1939, and it talks about being rocketed into the fourth dimension. So here I am with all this meditation stuff. So my spirit was woke up. I'm getting all this stuff. And, you know, I remember saying to me, Kiwi, I'm getting all these symbols and these four hands around like a crystal pyramid light, and they're drawing energy from me. And she's looking at me like I'm nuts. But then she started to Google it, and it was just all coming up on the computer. And she's like, what else did you get? And it's all coming up, showing all what I've been getting. So from there on in, I knew, you know, and then I started getting astral projection stuff. I said to me mate one night, I said, it's like I'm in space and all these stars and planets are coming toward me. She said, that's called astral projection. So it was all really new to me, really, really new to me. Anyway, I did the work on myself, and, you know, it's 7 years, and you were talking about it last night on your show around the 7-year cycle, you know, the 12, the 12, the 12. And yesterday I was reading out of a literature book called the 12 by 12. So for me, it's all about evolution. Us waking up, it's all about evolution, and the experiences I've had, even around the time the feminine was stepping in. I was getting, now I didn't know anything about the feminine stepping in. I didn't follow anything. And I mean that. I just started getting visuals around this membrane with all these female faces trying to push through. And there was ancestors and lines of them, of these women pushing through this membrane. And I couldn't make head nor tail of it. And then I started realizing, and people were saying to me, you're highly intuitive. And I'm feeling all these energies. And I used to say, there's this massive resistance. It's not mine. And I knew it was collective. I absolutely knew it was collective. I didn't used to follow when it was a full moon or a new moon or a retrograde. And the Kundalini stuff, I started to realize Michelle Muller helped me a lot, because she explained some of the stuff that was going on with me in regards to the energy within the spine. But every time the energies were coming in the last few years, my body, I was very symptomatic of what's it called, fibromyalgia or rheumatoid arthritis. And I knew I never had any of that. It was the energies that was coming in. It was just like, felt them coming in when it was a retrograde, when it was a full moon, whether the solar stuff coming in, because my body kept letting me know. And I started getting visuals of the atoms and what we're made up of, the cells, the cellulars. And then I was getting visuals of when we've got the negative thought pattern going on, what happens on a cellular level and how it can manifest in the body. Wow. So I really have started to, you know, I do speak to myself when I'm speaking to me. You know, my heart space. I'm speaking to myself as well. Now, since, I don't know, end of July, August, the energies coming in are having a completely different effect on me.
Since, you're talking about this year?
This year, yeah.
Okay.
The intensity's gone, because it'd be so intense. And I know I'm super sensitive, but it'd be painful. As you know, we can suffer with these energies coming in. But since July, it's completely different. The energies that are coming in now for me, it feels really, really gentler, softer. And I know that the feminine and the masculine are coming together, and it's a 3-year for me. That meant, you know, because I was getting in meditation that me left and me right were trying to merge together. Then I was getting a lot around the Holy Spirit, which to me is symbolic of the masculine, the feminine, and the child. So this year for me is all about being integrating that and then embodying them 3 aspects of myself without, don't get me wrong here, the shadow self. I've been doing a lot of clearing as well, an awful lot of clearing. And I'm talking, you know, when I was on Sean's show, I said, I'm here in this vibrational field because I'm vibrating now. It's much softer and I can hear the tones and the changes. And I was in this and I was thinking, okay, if I'm in this, because I listened to a light language, what Sean did, and I just broke. And it was from my soul. And I'm talking, the next thing I just got this download of my immediate family and then the generational family. And it was just a lineage of, and it was so fast. And I knew that's what I was clearing. And I was just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. But on a daily basis, I'm working on the type of stuff of the, you know, what's dissolving for me, which was like the rejection, the abandonment stuff, the comparison stuff, the not good enough stuff, me projections. Yeah.
So this is amazing. I had no idea. Thank you for your service. So just a few things, because this is what it's all about. These are the kind of stories that I think help people more than any download. But so you were getting all this information coming in.
Yeah.
I can relate. You know, my first 2 years waking up, a lot of the similarities, not to the extent that you had and for as long as you had. But we don't need to get into all that. But did you, I mean, were you having any particular essences talking to you, or were you just out there by yourself?
Well, I was sort of out there by myself, but I've got a sense of angels, because I got Metatron. I'd never heard of Metatron. I'd never heard of him. And it was in the summer. I'm lying in the back. The next thing I looks up, and there's this dolphin cloud, just this cloud formed in a perfect dolphin in the sky, and I'm smiling to myself. And I just closed my eyes, and the next thing, the energy, honest to God, I just felt the whole energetic field was like, you could feel it, the mood, it was so fast. And then the next thing, I see this figure, this alien. It was pure light with a cube. So I didn't know, it didn't get any words, so I just Googled angels with cubes, and it was Metatron, and it was all to do with the sacred geometry. And I know I've always been connected to sacred geometry. So even as a child, do you remember the things you used to look in as a child, and you'd turn the bottom and you'd get all the changing shapes?
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, I used to cry because my mum would take it, and I'd want to just stay in that, because I knew, somewhere in me, I knew we were made up of that stuff. I've always counted, symmetrical, and the Vitruvian man was all around the Fibonacci sequence, and so I've worked it all out. It's all to do with energy. It's all to do with sequence. It's all to do with sacred geometry, and that is what we're made up of.
So this all began in 2012. You're highly sensitive. Then over the last 6 months, you're saying that it's getting softer for you.
Yeah. For me.
Are you? Do you get any type of intel, like collective intel, like what the hell's going on? Do you ever get stuff like that? What are you getting now? I mean, like,
I do. I'm getting a sense of now that the people are waking up more, especially to the sacred feminine and the masculine coming together, and it's all to do with the heart space and the love and the evolution. I think 2020 is going to be, it's going to be a lot softer, but it's still going to be fast. People are waking up more and more. I mean, I had a dream not long ago, and I've got a friend, Kerry, she's tuning in tonight. She seems to, I put something out there, she picks it up. She's a 9 life path, I'm an 11, so we really work together. Yeah, I had a dream going back a couple of weeks, couple of months, and I'm speaking in tongues in my dream. And as I'm speaking, shame came in, because I'm speaking to a crowd of people. And I'm using my fingers, because I use my fingers a lot when I'm talking and I count. And as I'm speaking in tongues, this shame come in, and the ego mind came in, and it said, I feel ashamed. You don't know what you're saying. And then I call it my God voice came in, and what it said was, it doesn't matter. It's the intention.
Yeah. Exactly.
Behind.
Exactly.
What's being said. And I woke up with it, and it was all to do with the Holy Spirit, because I looked up, my friend looked up tongues, and that's all I got all week was readings about the Holy Spirit and the tongues, the gift of the tongue, all week, the synchronicities around it. And for me, the Holy Spirit is the Trinity, the three coming together, which is the 3 here, the male, the female, the child. I mean, it's just everything I've had and downloaded, and I've had so many activations at a friend's place in Wales. She's got a whole planet of gongs. I'm going for the solstice, but she's not letting me have a gong back. She's got a reason for it. But I've had so many activations there. I had female, sacred feminine speak to me. I was on the floor like an animal. It was around forgiveness. around my youngest who was placed in for adoption, and I couldn't forgive myself. And then I'm in the chapel. She's got her own chapel on site, and I'm sobbing. And this female voice said to me, "It's okay, Sha." And when I got up, I sat in this chair facing the altar, and as I closed my eyes, this hand, because every part of me was burning, the pain in my body, and this hand, just, it's the same hand I seen when I was in Bosnia. Big long thing, just went like that, right down my body and lifted the pain. And as I stood up, I was just drawn to Our Lady in the corner. And as I come out, Jen said, "Are you okay?" And as I told you, she said, "Well, she lost a child." But I do believe that this year is, you know, the male and the female coming together, the Trinity, the Holy Spirit. It's all what I've had all year. And the heart center and stuff.
How
It's all
about
evolution.
what's your take on magic? Like
Magic is the mind and the heart coming together. That's the magic. That's where the manifesting comes from. It's this and this. It's the male, the knowledge, and the emotional, the feminine, and the heart coming together is where the magic is made. As a child, I was always reading Enid Blyton books, The Magic Faraway Traits. Nature speaks to me. Gaia spoke to me. Stones have spoke to me.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I can totally relate to that.
Because I'm so heightened. The stone told me, the frequency of the stone told me to tune into it, because it's really grounding. No, really simple things. That's just where I've gone. It's really useful.
And one thing that I'm grateful for is the time on the streets, because wow, I mean, the energetics were so much easier to read with the people on the streets and with things that happen on the streets, right?
Okay, why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? You know why?
Honestly, because I think the people on the streets were more present. They were
more real.
Yeah, they were more real and they're more present. I saw more light when I was incarcerated, when I was on the streets. I also had many
more love.
I had a lot of divine episodes, which I had them other places too, but they seem to happen. The energies seem to be more enhanced. The extremes too. There wasn't just light. I mean, there was other things too, but it just seemed to be a lot easier to see those things. And I remember it would have been like four years later when I hit the road in 2016. I ended up going to New York City, where I'd never been, and walked the streets there, and that was like a PhD university course in reading energy and
beyond.
Right. I mean, it was a great gift to me, and I know you get that. I can tell. Yeah. So, and what I love too about what you're talking about is you're still doing the work.
Absolutely.
Do you think that that's changed a little bit? Like you talk about in the last 6 months, it's gotten softer. I'm not saying that you're not processing your own stuff, but do you get a feel that it's more collective every day?
Yes, absolutely. But that's it's so on point. It's collective. It's definitely collective. This is what I'm saying to you. It's collective.
Yeah.
And absolutely.
You know what? It's getting to the point now where if you have enough information, you've done enough clearing, you now have the ability. People now have the ability to transmute or transform for the collective. In a really big way, and it doesn't matter at this point almost who's doing it.
It doesn't.
It's the fact that we're doing it. I am one. I am soul. I am God, goddess, source, whatever. And we actually have this. We have this becoming more available, or more people are doing it. I can see that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. It was happening yesterday. The telepathy stuff, it's just, it's just confirmation, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're getting confirmation all the time of what's going on, and even what your thought process is about around the collective stuff. Because I was getting the diamond light coming in all last week, and then someone told me what that was, and I was like, okay, because I don't. But telepathy and confirmation is just becoming more and more the norm, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's and that's why, I mean, like this time right now and going into the solstice, I mean, even like the last 2-3 days, it just seems like everybody's kind of like on the same wavelength. We started that show this morning. Everybody said they're nauseous. You know, they were feeling sick. You know, what's going on? I mean, I don't know. It's really
massive, isn't it? It's a 12-12-12 day, or a 3-3-3, whatever way you want to, you know. Yeah, it's massive what's going on at the minute.
And what about in your day-to-day life? Have things gone into alignment? Are you experiencing?
It's funny because I ended up working in the 12-step treatment centre. I've done a lot of service, a lot of volunteering. So here I am working in this treatment centre. I've been spoon-fed the last 3 years by the universe. Honest to God, I'm just coming to the end of a diploma in psychodynamic counselling. Now, I was having clinical supervision, because of my job, and the lady giving me the clinical supervision decided to offer me a course, which would have cost me £700, which was a level 3. So I said, I'd love to do it, but I haven't got the funds right now. She said, I want to give you it. So she gave me this level 3, and the following year she gave me the diploma, which would have been just under £4,000. Wow. So not only that, all my books have come free, which would have been you're talking another good £600 for all my literature books. Everything's come free. Everything has come free. So I know that's my vocation, if you like. That's my vocation, because it's just helping people go in to deal with past behaviors, past processes, and past beliefs, all the faulty beliefs. It's all about people going in, waking up, and healing from that. That's my purpose here. But yeah.
Well, if you're over in Liverpool, I'm sure you have been harassed by that maniac, Dr. Joe Delaney. Have you been harassed by him?
I'm just trying to work him out, Todd, you know. Yeah, he's good stuff. He's good stuff. There's a lot of similarities there. We both had the same hip problem as kids, you know. I've spoke to Joe on a few occasions. Yeah. Michelle Muller's another one. I'll be seeing Michelle Muller in the solstice as well.
I know Michelle.
Yeah.
I know Michelle. Yeah.
She's good stuff. She's and I've got we call them sponsors in fellowship. We have sponsors, but she's brilliant. She keeps me feet firmly planted on the ground. She's always saying to me, you know, you're highly intuitive, but you got to keep your feet firmly. You've got to be careful who you share your stuff with. But yeah, I've just had confirmation from everywhere for the last couple of years. Spirits. I lost a boyfriend. I lost a boyfriend to addiction when he was 14. Yeah.
Wow. And
he came through to this. I went to see this lady. She's psychic. And she said, I've got a young guy here called Jason. And I was like, oh, okay. And I knew she meant straight away. She said he died. But she went on to say, he's telling me to say this to you because I'm writing a book. She said, you're writing a book and he's telling me to say to you, write the bloody book because you keep putting it back down. And she told me stuff that she couldn't have known that it came from him. So I'm getting confirmation all the time of where I am is exactly where I'm meant to be.
Absolutely.
I have struggled at times, don't get me wrong, you know, we all do. But
what do you do? What do you do when you struggle?
I'm learning to take care of myself, to allow other people to care for me because of the self-reliance in me. I found it really, really difficult.
Yeah.
To allow other people to care for me because it's just instilled in me to take care of myself from so young. You know, and to be vulnerable meant you get hurt. You know, today vulnerability is beautiful. It's the catalyst, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I struggle, I have to remind myself of myself on my own. I'm no good. I need other people. You know, reach out, ask for help, let people know where you are.
It is kind of tricky though, isn't it? You know, we spend all this time discovering our power and becoming self-reliant, self-responsible. But there is some truth to that, reaching out to other people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, if everybody's a mirror, and we think of that like, oh, they're a great mirror, they trigger me, but they're also mirrors of the beauty and the love and the courage.
Yeah. Well, you only have to look at who's in your life, don't you? I mean, I can still get triggered, and obviously, you know, we learn about the projection.
I never get triggered. I never lose my temper.
Todd, you trigger me.
No, I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah. But you do. You just look at the people who's in your life. You know, your mirror of what you're attracting. You know, that who's mirroring you is what you're attracting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Yeah.
But I mean, I think there is. You're right about that, and there's something to reaching out and accepting what comes your way, because it's like we had to go all the way one direction, you know, and get away from the codependent type of frequency.
Yeah.
Now that we've cleaned the closet a little bit, we've come back and we're starting to get abundance in all forms, because abundance isn't just money or resources. Abundance is love. You know, it's opportunity, lots of things.
But I stand by what I read. Something Morgan had posted around. If there's anything left that needs clearing and working on, you know, it's going to happen. Ready for 2020. So at the minute, I'm just going through a letting go process myself at the minute, because I had this attachment to someone. And I've been deluded and telling myself that the relationship had changed. It had become a lot healthier. I'd changed, but the other person hadn't. And our actions of late have made me have to step back. And I've got a lot of love for this person. So I've just had to go through this pain of looking at the truth and taking back my power, what I'd give, because within the relationship, because I came from abuse, I abused myself. I attracted that all my life. Yeah. I became abuse. I was a manifestation of abuse. My arms, I was a deep self-harmer. You know, so my relationships, whenever I was abused or harmed, I always justified their behavior towards me and turned it in. Like there's something wrong with me. And I have done a lot of work on that, but it goes so bloody deep. I was in someone's house, and she'd made a cake. She was looking after me because I'd been struggling. And she's brushing the floor because she'd made a cake. And talk about the ego mind. And my head goes, that's my fault. She's cleaning up because she's got physical problems, this lady. And I just had to get it out. I said, Julie, my head said, this is how deep rooted that over-sense responsibility and that guilt, when I've done nothing wrong, can still play out in me. Yeah. My fault, she's brushing. I'm in the way. I'm a nuisance. Oh, it's all got to be cleared, and it is dissolving. Yeah. But it's so deep rooted in us, you know. The good thing is we're aware of it, but
it really is.
We're still clearing.
Yeah, it really is. It is deep. Yeah, it really is. And I think there's gonna be a big push through the solstice, maybe. I guess it goes on forever. I don't know, but yeah. There's if you look at people's posts and videos and over the last few days, you know, going back even to the first part of December, something really is flipped, you know. I mean, it really has flipped. I mean, it's been flipping. There's been thresholds reached, and we elevate, we integrate, but I don't know. And maybe it's along the lines of like Franco talks about the 3D matrix, inverted matrix no longer being projected.
Yeah.
And therefore that's not going to sustain itself any longer. And those things that we mimic in that illusion, they're not going to be able to survive. I mean,
no.
Yeah, I think it's it's really a good time, I think, too, to start taking this oneness and walking the talk.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
Because we get so personal.
Yeah.
Even in our judgments, it's just and it's okay. It's going to take some time, but man, everybody's having to do it.
Yeah, and you say it, the human is the hero. We are the bleeding hero. We're the ones who are prey to our emotions. We're the ones who are having to own, step up, take responsibility, clear out, take ownership. So we are the hero. And I think you're absolutely right. This push, I feel like it's already started. Because I feel the last few weeks, it's already. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it. Yeah. I personally feel like Morgan and I are experiencing a little, maybe it just feels like it's a little bit ahead of what's coming, but she's always experienced everything early. And it doesn't make, there's no separation there, because I love what this kid said Sunday, Joshua Pearson.
Oh yeah.
He said he was talking about magic, and he said there is no time when it comes to magic. So there really is no relevance to somebody elevating to a particular level today, and then 2 weeks later it's somebody else. There's no relevance to that at all. Time is a big factor in terms of our self-judgment and our judgment of other people, because we measure things and we think, oh, well, that took too long, or oh, you haven't done it,
Yeah, and I believe that's why, a lot of stuff I can't retain or remember, because it's no longer of any use. And I think a lot of people, even trying to read a book, it's like my soul says, you don't need to read this knowledge. It's just knowledge, and it's in principle, it's basically the same as 100 books you probably could have read before. It's like now it's not about that, it's about our own experiences. And you said something yesterday, I think, to someone, it was a Sasha, when you said, is it internal or external? And she said internal. She goes, it's an experience.
That's what
but it's both for me. It's both.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely.
That's these, and for me it's been both, but I've never Joshua Pearson's actually the one that first said that to me a week ago Sunday. And then Asha said the same thing yesterday. And, but when I pictured it in my head, I thought, wait a minute, I've never actually gone into myself. I have, energetically, but never really like the way I was getting it. And I think there's something to that. And I do agree with you. I think it is whatever you're doing in here, it's being reflected out there immediately.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's all being reflected.
That's the instant manifestation
yeah,
part of the equation that we're all going to pick up on now.
I think so.
Because both of them talked about the creative force. That, in other words, the objective there ultimately was creative force.
Creation.
Yeah, was to create something. Yeah.
Which is the place of origin, isn't it? It's the place of origin. Creation is the place of origin, where it all begins.
Yeah. The mother womb.
Yeah.
The universal womb. Yeah.
Or even the beginning. The very beginning.
I'm just hoping. And what about your body? What's going on with your body? Have you seen? I know we've all physically felt it. We all these things happen to us: the headaches, the dizziness, the nausea, and all that. Some people are starting. I've heard a couple of people just this past week talking about how it's kind of stopped and starting to move the other direction. How are you doing with it?
My body, apart from I have a left hip problem, but even that, the pain that I was getting, or the intensity, that's the only way I used to be able to describe it. This intensity, I can feel it, the heat, it's gone. It's gone for me.
Yeah.
And I said to Jen, my sponsor there not long ago, I said, it's like, I mean, I can feel my energy field. We can hear the tones, we can hear the frequency and all the rest of it. But I've experienced a few things where I've thought, you just stepped into another dimension here. I'm talking to a friend in work. And as I'm talking to her, I said, can you hear why's my voice echoing? And she's laughing, going, what are you talking about? And my voice was, it's happened a few times, and my voice is echoing, and I was going to her, stop shitting me, you can hear that, and she couldn't hear it. And I thought, you just stepped into another dimension or out of a timeline, something. And also I was seeing people, not solid objects. When I'd be talking to someone and they had something going on, I could see two of them.
Wow.
But my eyesight is, I went to the opticians and they can't find any reason for it. But it was only happening with people. It wasn't happening with anything else other than people. So I just think it's the energy shifts and the timeline shifting and the dimensional stuff. But
You get the vibrating eyes. My eyes will go like that. I had that yesterday. I've seen some glitches too. I saw some infinity signs on my face earlier. They were like a strand of infinity running down my face when I was doing the show previous to this.
Yeah.
There's things definitely happening like that. There's no doubt. Yeah. And I wonder when I believe we'll see some, I believe it's all going to come true. The regeneration, the youth.
It's already happening. It's already happening. Yeah. That's what's collectively happening. That's really, really already taking place. Yeah. And I believe the younger ones, you hear a lot. I mean, there's a lot of younger ones who are awake, but for some time, I remember thinking the younger ones are all full of anxiety and depression, and because a lot of them are that open. Yeah. They're so open to energies, and a lot of them don't even know or are aware of that. Some sensitives yet. Yeah. And I just come up with this. I thought, this is where they're going to have to go in and look at why they're anxious. They're going to have to seek some kind of help. And this is where the awakening will start taking place. And it's going to happen quicker and quicker and faster and faster. It's just really, really speeding up.
So if you could shed some light for us, I mean, what would you, what's the best advice you could give us right now? At least as we're heading into 2020.
Well, top of the line, self-care. Self-care. First and foremost. Yeah. So important. So important.
And there's a lot of ways to do that, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, there really is. There's a lot of ways to do that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I went and got a big hamburger today.
Hey, do you know what?
I went to the hamburger today.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I'm not a fanatic around, or, you know, I'm not the most disciplined person in the world, let's put it that way. But, you know, I like me treats, and I do treat myself, you know, a bit of chocolate or whatever. And yeah. But get out into nature, walk, move your energy about, keep the energy moving. And
yeah, the movement I think is important.
Really important.
Moving around is important. Even if you just get up and walk around the house or something, just move around a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely. That's been a hell of a ride. It's been a hell of a ride, hasn't it?
It really has.
You've been hanging around. I've been seeing you for a long time. I don't even know how long, but I'd have to say at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
Seeing you coming around.
And then I started having a little bit of input, and I'd have a, you know, comment, but I just watched for a bit, because when I first found Soulogy, I was blown away, because I'm listening to people who've experienced similar stuff to mine, because I hadn't come across that. I had, but not to this extent. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't read, and I was like, I knew this was collective, and I knew this was big, but oh my God.
Yeah.
So then I started to involve myself a little bit more, because I can sort of stand back a little bit, but as I'm being told, stop playing small.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
all this intel, the monkey mind, I just have to say to it, shut up, because when we're in fear, there's no God. There's no God without, you're out your body when we're in that fear. So I have to just keep bringing it back to me center, and we're all here to help each other and do it with love, you know.
Well, that's I get messages and every day, and I think the best one I get is the ones that come in and talking about, thank God I found this community because I thought I was crazy.
Yes.
And all I can say is thank you, Morgan Lee, because
thank you both.
She came up with this years ago, actually, like 10 years ago. She said she wanted to create this place, and then she mentioned it to me a couple of months after we met. And I had no idea it would look like this, but I think that's the biggest part of it, is just people talking about, well, like you did today.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just
and the more we do that, the more, and that's what I'm saying, it's getting faster and faster, where people are waking up and we're finding each other quicker and quicker. So that unity is growing, and it's
right on. It's beautiful, man. You're beautiful.
It is. Oh, thank you. You too.
And
all the people behind the scenes who do the work as well, behind the scenes, the Soulogies as well. Yeah. Grateful for them as well.
Yeah. Rebecca Williams she's an angel.
Yeah.
And Ian Boldy's helping now. He's amazing.
Cool.
And I think we're going to expand here soon, finally. After all, I don't think that, I made the announcement on January 2nd of 2019.
That's my birthday. That's my birthday.
That's the day that I crawled out of bed and said, we're going to do this on our own. And
wow.
And I thought it would happen within a couple of weeks. But I didn't realize what the universe had in store was to get us all ready, and it just wasn't time, but it looks like it's going to happen. We're making really good progress on it. Yeah. And I think that's going to allow us to be able to offer a platform for
expand
everybody's voice. That's the ultimate goal, is everybody has a channel. That's the way
finally we have a voice.
We'll become the mainstream. We'll force the mainstream.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Shaz. Love you.
And you too. Love you too. Love tomorrow.
We'll do it again sometime. If you need anything,
cool. Take care.
Bye. Yeah, anything I can do for you, hit me up. Let me know, right?
Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Peace out, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.